Dirty little secret.
Oh,
If you live there for 10 years or more, you're remodeling your house.
Yeah,
I try to explain that to my customers who get selection paralysis. Oh, we just don't want to make the wrong selection. You might. How long do you plan to live here? This is going to be our forever home. Great. You're going to remodel it. You will.
Yeah.
You will, because the trends are going to change. Everything's going to change. And in 12 years, that tile that you picked or that floor color that you picked or those lighting fixtures, those plumbing fixtures, you're redoing them.
Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Building, Brews, and Barbecue, where we're stepping through our latest series, which we're about halfway through, if not more now. We're
I don't know. You just keep adding
quarters.
episodes.
We'll see. We're about 1/8 through. But our series, The House That Wisdom Built,
Ruth.
or like you like to say Ruth, which is Babe Ruth, or from the Bible, Ruth. So we're gonna drop some truth on you.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's what we're doing. The House That Wisdom Built. We're just dropping bombs of truth. Anyway,
okay.
But I'm your host, Vince. This is Nathan. If you haven't already met us, then oh Lord, go start at the beginning. You're gonna learn a whole lot, and it's a wild ride. But today, on this thrilling episode, we're talking about flooring choices that last.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're building a house, remodeling a house, or just, thinking about it, this is a big item. One of the big things, you're not going to get the deets on this one, right? If you really want the deets, go back and listen to one of our earlier episodes with Michael Kerouac.
Yep.
He's a hardwood floor specialist, and we deep dive for about an hour into the different types, flooring, you name it. But we're going to touch here today on just choices that you have the information so you can make a good choice, and then it's up to you to go explore.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
When do they need to select flooring?
They need to select flooring before they move in.
Okay.
No, I mean early. Way early.
Are we catching a theme?
Yeah. What is the theme? You're our themester. You're our themester.
Oh, I'm the themester. You're pro tips and I'm the theme.
That's right.
Okay. The theme is another product that goes in late in the build that needs to be picked before we start.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, it needs to be picked before we start. Framing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if we're putting in nail down wood floor with 3/4 plywood, what does that affect? The stairs. Stair heights, and we build your stairs. What do you say? Dirty little secret. We build your stairs at framing.
That's right.
So we need to know what our stair heights are to meet code on our rise and run.
That's right.
And we have to know these things, and so we need to know what type of flooring you're doing and what it is, so that we are able to build your home.
That's right. And you touched on. I mean, you came hot out of the gates today. I mean, you came hot with just dropping primo info.
10-minute episode.
Holy smokes, you do want this done for the listener. You're exactly right. You got your true hardwood floors, which is wood through and through, or you have your laminate floors, which have the top layer is a real wood, and then the rest is a plywood. You can get different plies, meaning how many plies, and that's the layers that go in different directions to make it stable and strong.
Which Michael talks a ton about.
Yep. And you can get that in different thicknesses as well, 3/4, but you can also get a 5/8, a 7/16, a 3/8. So you're right. It changed the thickness of that floor. Not only messes with your stairs, but it messes with a lot of stuff. Like, for example, you need to be thinking, if you're planning and you're renovating, if you're going to try to match up with something existing, if you're renovating a room and you want to change the floor, let's say you're going to take new hardwood floors up to some tile or old floors, you got to know what heights you're dealing with.
That's right.
Because if you got a 3/8, you pick a floor that's not very thick, but you have some old 3/4, it's going to come in way low, and then you're going to have to put this weird transition piece. It could potentially be a trip hazard. And, so there's a lot of factors involved, let alone the quality of the floors, the wearing and stuff like that we'll talk a little bit about. But yeah, all that stuff needs to be known ahead of time, because those thicknesses can really mess with you, because there's certain codes that stairs can't be more than a 1/4 inch difference in height between steps, and can't be more than a certain height or less.
So,
you know,
also, we have a lot of customers that don't like, as you're saying, lining up. They don't like thresholds, right? Where one floor is a little higher than the other, and you have a piece made, or you have to buy a threshold piece that kind of covers that gap, right? You have customers that don't like that. Well, if you're doing hardwood floors, you are going to be taller than your tile. That's the way it is. Unless, if you know early, we have done things like hard to do on a basement. I don't know how. Yeah, no, you do it with your floor joist. But on our slabs, we do sunken slabs, where we will pour the slab where the wood floor is going to be lower than the main slab, so that then when we put the 3/4 plywood and the wood floor on, it bumps into the tile.
Gotcha. And that's for a concrete slab, because your slab is your subfloor.
That's right.
Now, it's a little different in frame construction or on your second floor.
Yep.
Because you have your floor joist, and then you put the 3/4 inch subfloor on that, and that's consistent all the way across.
Yep.
Now, the major difference is you put your hardwood floor on there, right? So you've got the same situation with your concrete as you do with your subfloor plywood.
Yep.
The difference with the wood is you can't just set tile on wood.
That's right.
You need what's called an underlayment,
Yep.
whether it's a lath system, whether it's a
Cement board,
or a Schluter system. That adds, a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, whatever thickness that is underneath the tile, which then lifts it up. So you actually get in the opposite situation, where if you decide to go with a hardwood floor that's only 3/8 inch, well, now your tile's taller than your hardwood floor. And so, you're trying to balance it out. I always say, hey, we need to really go, if you want that smooth, professional look and feel with no transitions, you really need to go with a true 5/8 or 3/4 inch thick hardwood, so you have that room to play with your tile.
Yep.
You agree?
I do agree. What would you do in this situation, though, if the tile is taller?
Then that we've come through in the past, and it just depends. If it's fractional, like if you got it, it's a 1/16 or an 1/8, we'll actually just feather the hardwood floor back about 3 feet in the room, so that you don't even notice that it just came up a light 1/8, and nobody trips. You can't even sense it. So we'll do that to save money. Now, if it's like a 1/4 inch and it's like the whole room, then we'll add an underlayment below the hardwood floor. A cheap hardboard, or a 1/4 inch plywood, or with something like that we glue and screw down, and then put the hardwood floor over it. But by the time you do that, you might have been better off just getting the thicker hardwood.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
So you got to really weigh out the options, and this is why ahead of time playing it out. It's like before this episode, you planned out to drink a Miller Lite.
Of course.
I planned out to drink a Sweetwater 420.
But you're not drinking yours.
That's right, because I don't.
It's because you're the host.
I'm a wussy.
You're more professional than me.
No, I'm about to crack it open.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
He's scared for you listeners.
Oh, I'm not scared.
He's so scared.
I'm strong. Oh, it's the fizz.
It's about to spill.
But when it touches the lips.
Oh, it's so good once it touches the lips. Not a Sweetwater.
This episode's getting better already.
Not a Sweetwater, but a Miller Lite once it touches the lips. No. Once the Miller Lite touches the tips, I'm Frank the Tank.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Well, come on, Frank. Why don't you explain to our listeners the different types of floors? Hardwood, engineered wood, luxury vinyl plank, which you love, and tile, and concrete. Real quick, lightning. Take us through.
Hardwood's hardwood. Tile's tile. Luxury vinyl plank. What? Listen, what we're seeing the most of is it's usually off of look of what you want to do. In our market, the more hardwood you can put in, the better. That's what we're looking for. Almost hardwood everywhere except for basically the wet rooms. I mean, what we're getting is houses that have hardwood everywhere, and then you have tile in your bathrooms. Right? And then maybe the secondary bedrooms have carpet in them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. The main guest has wood, but the other secondary might have carpet.
Gotcha. Does it ever become are your customers making that decision based off of financial constraints? Or is it just totally look, because as we all know, I actually think that hardwood floors are more cost effective than tile unless you're getting a cheap tile.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right, because the tiles that we're buying for the bathrooms, by the time it's all said and done, are probably more a foot.
That's right.
You know,
And especially because the labor to install tile is probably more than double,
Yeah.
if not almost triple, the cost of an installer of hardwood floors.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what we see. It's like, hey, I can give you a nice $7 or $8 pretty hardwood floor installed, pre-finished, wide plank, glued down, and you're going to be in the $8 plus or minus.
That's right.
But your tile labor only to install that is going to be $6.50. Then you're setting materials, another dollar. So before you know it, just for a basic quality tile installer, you've got $7.50 before you're even doing your materials and grout. And, you know, so it's like, oh, okay. So I can buy $1 a square foot tile or go with a pretty hardwood floor. That, oh, by the way, is actually, we talked about this in the past, that's actually better on your body, i.e. it gives a little bit of hardwood floor as opposed to a tile. So you're, you know, just being at home all day, if you're an at-home person, working from home or just...
Why are you at home all day?
I'm home all day because I like to play Miss Pac-Man. No, but, you know, if you're doing that, there's actually, I have customers, true story, that we came in because they wanted this beautiful tile. It was a beautiful, beautiful Spanish tile. Went perfect with the home. Awesome. Within a year, in a new multi-million-dollar home, we came in and tore out every bit of the Spanish tile. And, you know, that doesn't come out to be reused.
No.
And we went in with hardwood floor because she, which was home with the kids all day, it was killing her knees and her legs. She could physically feel it because there's no give in tile or cement, but there is give in the fibers of wood. Even if it's a engineered wood, there still is give in those fibers.
All of that obviously makes a ton of sense. I feel like a lot of it is in our market is the look, right? The seamless look of one color palette through the house.
Oh, it kind of just blends. It just becomes second fiddle. It doesn't have to be the focus.
It's not the star of the show, right? It just becomes...
It used to be. You're saying it's changing.
Yeah, wood floor is just, hey, it's in here, it's pretty, and as you've seen a lot of the colors are neutral. They're very neutral.
Lighter.
They're matte, they're neutral, they're not shiny, and they're just kind of going in, and the star of the show is probably the rugs that people are buying. And the wood floor is just there to be there, to set stuff on. Is what you're seeing, and it makes it to where the rest of the design's not so crazy. It's just way easier to the eye when it's one flooring going all the way through.
And that makes a ton of sense.
I will tell you, though, when you said like one being concrete, something that we totally stole from you, and we do it any chance we can get. People who have never seen it freak out when we tell them it's what we want to do, and they almost don't let us do it. Anybody who came through our spring of 23 parade loved it, which is an epoxy on a concrete floor.
Oh, yeah. Not just a regular epoxy, but you're talking a more decorative
No,
epoxy,
I'm talking about the
metallic marbleized.
I'm talking about a marbleized epoxy, and we did it on our basement in the spring of 23 parade because we saw it in your basement. We said, this is amazing. And, you know, there is no color. We picked 3 colors we liked and kind of mixed them together and made it swirl. And I love that on concrete floors, and especially in entertainment basements that are maybe connected to the pool, right? To where kids can come in and out. Same thing with our family, having 4 kids wanting to play outside in the grass. They come in, they track in grass. Big deal. We have a little vacuum down there.
Just zoop it right up.
Zoop it right up. And it looks beautiful.
Yeah. And you just clean it. You basically clean it with mild soapy water.
That's it.
And that's it. If any soap. Usually water will just clean a metallic marbleized epoxy floor. And you can also get matte finishes, like in the office here. You've got a custom floor, and it's a marbleized metallic epoxy and a matte finish.
Hashtag humble brag.
Yeah, that's right. The cool thing about that, too, is not only is it durable, it's easy to clean. And if your floor's out of level, you don't have to do all that shimming and everything like that. It's like, hey, this is industrial.
It's what it is.
You know, it's what it is. And that's why we did it in here. This floor was so out of level. To install hardwood floors over this There'd be hollow pockets. It was going to be a mess.
Yeah.
And so this was a great solution to a problem. And like you said, how about a basement if you're in an area that might be prone to flooding, or you're in an old home,
Yeah.
you know, and you want to finish your basement, but you can't dig up your foundation to add waterproofing or fix a leak or something like that. You can rest with peace of mind that if water gets on this floor, it's not going to ruin anything.
It's no problem. Yeah, because so many people are like, ooh, basement, I don't want to fill it up with a bunch of carpet. And then they're thinking, do I really want my basement floor to have wood floor in it? Okay, no. And then we already talked about it. Well, dang, even if I pick a cheap tile, it's going to be expensive to lay all this tile. And the epoxy, man, the way we did it, which was amazing, is we had some quartz countertops down in there for like a little wet bar area. We legitimately got with our guy who does our epoxy. We're like, we want this color palette. Brings it, did some samples on some boards. We're like, yep, that's what we like. And he did it.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny that you say that. It comes back to samples on boards, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and doing a sample test. So remind me that we need to do a sample test.
I might not remind you. I might just let the episode end.
Yeah, that's a good point. That happens a lot around here. So yeah, that's that much. But don't, you know, listeners at home, don't conflate that or confuse that with metallic marbleized epoxy with chip epoxy.
That's
like
right.
you put in a garage.
No.
This is not the Rust-Oleum stuff you go buy from Home Depot
No.
that has the color chips in you.
When I first saw it, because you did the gloss in your basement, I did matte at our house, but you did the gloss. I couldn't figure it out. Remember, I was down there. It looked like marble. I was like, where are your seams?
Yeah.
Like how, like, you went and bought slabs of marble, and then that's when you joked with me, obviously. Oh yeah.
Sure did.
Sure did. And then you ended up telling me that it was an epoxy, and it's unbelievable. And that's right. Yes. Do not, if you're listening, if you're not viewing and can see Vince's office, if you're listening, do not think of it as chipped in garage. It is completely different, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah. The other thing that it's unbelievable with is for people that drop stuff. You know, you got a kid's play. I mean, yeah, it's gonna, you know, but kids can roll things around easier.
Oh yeah.
You're not worried if they drop something. You know, it's just incredibly durable. It's not gonna, you know, it could chip, I guess, but you got to drop something really heavy like an anvil.
Excuse me.
To make anvil, it's something that the old folks used to use. The younger generation, like yourself, doesn't know what an anvil is.
No.
No.
Never even heard that word.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, ingrained in my mind.
Huh.
People say, Vince, your muscles are like an anvil.
They don't.
No, they don't. Or your head is as hard as an anvil.
That they say.
That they do say, yeah.
That they say.
So engineered hardwood, what's the difference, real quick, between engineered hardwood and real hardwood?
I mean, the biggest difference for me, there's tons of differences. First off, like we talked about, it's the height difference. When you're laying down a 3/4 inch plywood and then putting your nail down on, it's much taller.
Because you're only getting it in a 3/4. You're not really getting a true hardwood in a 1/2 inch or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess you could, but that's very rare in the marketplace.
So between a nail down and the glue down, if you will, and I want to be real clear on this. There are glue downs which you can deem pre-finished. There's also glue downs like what we use that we still sight finish. There's raw wood on top. We love it for multiple reasons. The glue that you put this finish down is a water barrier. It's a moisture barrier. Yeah. That's what it's deemed to be.
It's polyurethane glue.
It's a polyurethane glue that allows us to put it down. What we love about it is it naturally meets tile, which we love. It naturally just meets right up with tile. You can put it in wet spaces like kitchens and master baths. We put it in master bath. We even had a story from our 2017 parade house. The first time we found this product was we came and saw you were doing 7-inch planks in it. And the reason you said, why is it so humid in Atlanta, that a 7-inch nail down plank would cup on you. And I was like, oh man, I've never seen anything like this. You're like, oh yeah, it does great with moisture. We did this beautiful chevron pattern in a master bath. Did it. Customer went on vacation. Their toilet broke. They had 2 inches of standing water on their wood floors in their master bath. Got the water out, got it dried up. They did not have to tear out their floors.
You're kidding.
Their floors ended up laying back down.
Really?
Yes.
And you probed it and there was no moisture trapped underneath?
That's right.
Wow. That's pretty good.
That's right. So I'm not saying that happens all the time, but what it does, though, is it makes it let's say worst case scenario, it flooded their bathroom. They were going to have to rip out their bathroom. That's it.
Because you're talking about a laminate floor with the top
Real
layer
wood
is
top.
real wood.
It's real
Yeah,
wood.
Yeah, that's right.
But what's great about it is if that was a real wood floor, as you know, the plywood underneath the real wood acts as a sponge. Had water gotten on the master floor, that water was going to travel through every piece of plywood it could find in the house.
Yeah, into the subfloor.
Into the
OSB or plywood, whatever.
And it would have ended up in the living room, so far down to where this worst case scenario is whatever got wet may have had to been replaced, but nothing else, which is why we put it in kitchens.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge benefit, because you're right. The real hardwoods, they get water on them, they're going to cup because it gets down in the groove and it soaks in to the core of it.
That's right.
And when you wet down a real piece of wood, since it was cut out of a solid piece of wood, its grain pattern is either one way or the other.
Yep.
I mean, it just depends how they mill it.
That's why you get the wave.
That's right. And with a engineered hardwood, aka laminate hardwood, yeah, the top layer, the 1/4 inch layer is real wood, but everything underneath it is layered plywood in the fibers going in different directions. 11 ply means there's 11 layers. 9 ply is 9 layers. 7 ply, the most common, I guess, is 7 and 9. You get into the 11, that's more marine grade. They have those floors, high quality, super expensive. Go listen to the Mike Kerouac interview. But you're right, because you put that down, that product, the plywood's always going to stay stabler because you have the different directions, right? It's not going to cup, not going to bow. It doesn't want to shrink because it's pulling on itself.
That's right.
And then couple that with the waterproofing glue, the polyurethane glue, with, if you get it pre-finished, that's pre-finished in like the factory.
Yeah.
And so it's even more of a durable, because we had recently down in Serenby, we had a big pivot door blow open in one of our spec homes, and it rained overnight. And so the rain got in like back to 7 feet. And much like you, and I will have to agree, it dried up, and we probed that floor for 2 weeks, no cups, no nothing.
Yep.
So, I mean, it could stave off a disaster.
Yeah, it does.
If it's installed right. So the big takeaway is think about an engineered floor, but make sure it's installed right.
That's right.
Full spread glue. Do not cheap out on the glue because it protects your subfloor.
Yep.
And do these layers, and it acts as an insurance policy for your home for the future.
That's right.
Now, what about LV? If you really want to protect from water, why wouldn't you do luxury vinyl plank or LVP?
You would.
You would.
I just don't like it.
You don't like it. It's a cheaper price point, right?
Yeah, and we've used it. We've done it we have installed it in extremely expensive houses because it's what the customer wanted. And it was high end luxury vinyl plank. You can tell when you're walking on it.
Yeah, it has a different sound and feel.
Has a different, the feel for sure, and different sound. It's a little more clicky, and it's just my personal opinion. I would, by the time you spend the money on it, you're extremely close to being able to get a pre-finished hardwood.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where we typically see it is we'll do your whole first and second floor in hardwood, and just if there's concerns, we'll put it in the basement for peace of mind.
Which is where I try to talk most people into doing
only there.
Doing the what we have here.
Yeah, the epoxy.
Doing the epoxy.
If not, if you want to save money, you could go with a LVP.
You can.
And you're going to go from, these epoxy floors that are so fancy like this are $10 to $12 a square foot. They're more expensive than a real hardwood floor, but you can get into an LVP for sub 5 installed.
Yes.
Right? So, and a nice one that kind of matches up in color. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to match up in color with your first.
Yeah.
I'm not going to match up in feel, but it'll match up you can get it pretty close in a color tone of the rest of your house, especially in, like you said, in those medium finishes.
Yes.
Which people are going for. Tile.
I love tile.
Yeah. What types do you install the most? Are you moving more, with the printing press, I should say the printing
press, like for money? What our government does?
Yeah, that's what we do here. What is that called? Well, they print tile now. Tiles, if people don't realize that, is porcelain tiles are printed.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. We use some ceramic. It feels like the majority of what we're using is porcelain.
Porcelain, yeah, because you get I always know the difference between a ceramic tile and a porcelain tile. Ceramic tiles have more of they have a tendency to lean towards their edges are rounded a little bit, Whereas porcelain, you're getting more of a crisp edge. It actually looks like a real stone.
Well, and they've done way better. I'm sure you noticed even 3-4 years ago, it felt like the patterns on the porcelain were maybe like every 7th tile. So if you had a big shower, you could start being like, pattern.
Oh yeah.
Pattern, right? You like when they first came.
Same
tile. No matter how hard our
They only
tiles.
had like 3 different.
That's what I'm saying. And our tile setter would even lay them out before he did them and try to put them in different places so you didn't recognize it. It didn't matter. I will say now, it's way better than that. The repeat patterns are even.
Yeah, they'll have a SKU with 50 different patterns
Yes.
now instead of the old 3.
Yes.
Because they're printing them so much faster on the surface.
On the money press.
That's right, on the money press. Now, radiant heat. You know, we talking tile. I love tile too, but it's cold.
What is it with everybody and being cold?
Yeah, we don't want to be warm. We want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
That's part of life. Why you want to pay this much for a home and not be?
Because I'm hot. I want the cold tile.
Oh, well, yeah, you do. But I mean, most people that aren't 6'6" and built like a tank.
Oh, that's a nice, very nice way of saying I'm large.
Well, it's just because you're a big guy. I mean, you're not fat. I mean, you're good looking. Don't get me wrong. You're thin. You're mean. You're ready to win. You're playing to win.
Y'all don't listen to him.
If y'all could see him, you can't see him in your cars, but he's a good looking guy.
No, he's so full of it. Y'all stop. Go on to radiant heat.
Radiant heat. The reason why I like
We do
radiant
it.
heat,
We use the Schluter system.
yeah,
Go on
and
with
there's
it.
different systems. You can explore the ones you like. The reason why I like radiant heat is that if your feet are warm, your entire body will be warm. So what I found is that you don't need to put the heat on a house. I hear this from customers too all the time, and studies show that if your feet are warm, your extremities, your body will feel warmer. And you don't need to turn the heat on as much, if your feet are
My
warm.
feet are so hot right now, and I'm sweating.
See, there you go. See, so that's what we do. I mean, so you're actually saving money
Yeah.
if you live in cold climates by having a radiant floor, because your air temperature doesn't have to be, and that's where you're losing all your efficiency.
And it used to be more expensive, more difficult to do because you basically had to buy all the individual pieces, come in, lay the wire, do it all pretty. You had to right? Like it was way more of an art form.
Yeah.
I know there's multiple systems. We use the Schluter system. It comes as a system. And you literally lay the mat down and get the wire out and run the wire through the little prongs, and boom, you have a radiant heating floor. So it has come so far that it is much easier, less expensive, in my opinion. When people ask, we have less of a, well, yes, we can do it, but it can get complicated. And now it's like, I'll call our tile rep. Hey,
Include a Schluter system, or
include a Schluter radiant heat system.
radiant, yeah.
Yep.
And I consider that you consider that a splurge? I think it's a splurge.
It's a splurge because you don't have to have it. That is a true. Are you as a homeowner going to use that and love it?
Yeah.
That's what that is. You don't have to have it. We don't put it in our spec houses usually. Even our big expensive ones, we don't put it in.
Where do you see your customers splurging, or where should our listeners think, hey, when it comes to flooring or tile like that, where should I splurge and where should I save?
Master bath and powder baths. We're splurging.
You're splurging there.
Splurging. Master baths can even be marbles sometimes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of marbles, big pieces. Man, we're doing a lot of in the master baths too. We're seeing people wanting to get away from grout lines as much as they can, and they're going with those big.
Gets dirty.
They're going with those big 4x8 sheets of porcelain that you can get, and we're doing big columns, and like to where we only have 4 grout lines in a shower because we're using 4x8 sheets of porcelain.
Wow. They're harder to install. You get charged a whole lot more for labor, right?
Yeah.
Because if they break, they're in trouble.
Well, and we oddly enough, we don't even have our tile guy doesn't install them. We have our countertop guy install them.
Oh, wow.
Because it's kind of the same as
Yeah,
installing.
because they have the expertise in the big, careful.
Our tile guy will Schluter the shower, put the orange membrane on the shower, and then our countertop guys will install that. But we've seen that. So, and then obviously, guys, listen, these spare bathrooms. There is beautiful level 1 in air quotes. I'm doing the air quotes for those who can't see. Level 1 tile. Beautiful level 1 tile. put it in the kids' bedroom.
Keep it simple.
Keep it
Save money there.
Save money there. It's beautiful. It looks great, you know, and you can put it in and it looks fantastic, and it's $2 a foot, $2.50 a foot.
Would you ever put LVP to save money in guest rooms, not just a basement?
No.
No. Just try to leave it. Keep it to the basement.
Man, unless look, if you're asking me, no. If a customer wants it, I'll put it on the wall for them if that's what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever do a floor test? Meaning, what we'll do sometimes, you know, if we feel like the customer is really struggling, and if you're going to renovate a house or you're going to build a house, you could even do this yourself. Go get some of that material. Go get a piece of laminate floor. Go get a piece of LVP. Go get the tile you like. Go get those things and do a drop test. What is this going to be like if I put this in the kitchen near the refrigerator? Everything always somehow you're going to have stuff that falls out of the refrigerator and that's going to hit the ground. There's just areas around your sink, things like that, that you know that, hey, this is going to take more of a beating than just, you know, under the bed in a room, right? And so I always encourage them, hey, do some drop tests. See, you know, because there are tiles that will crack way faster. And
travertines.
You might not, and it's a nightmare to try to change those out.
Usually natural stones, travertine will crack. Again, no, we don't do a lot of that because primarily speaking, our kitchens are wood.
Yeah.
Right? So you're dropping it on hardwood, and especially if it's hickory, you're dropping it on something very hard.
That's right. And do you, so going back to real hardwood floors versus an LV, or not an LVT, but an engineered floor, which is the wood top plywood, when are you putting those, if it's a pre-finish, meaning the finish is already on it, are you waiting till like the last week before they move in? Or are you just waiting, or are you getting it in and just getting it covered?
We've been in such a catch-22 on this. Our motto has always been to put it in at the end because it's pre-finished and you want that floor as nice as possible, okay? We even get a box of it so that our trim carpenters can put it on the floor and then know the height of their base, right? Even doing that, what we end up having to do if we put it in later is it never fails. We end up having to come back and put some kind of shoe base on.
Yeah, shoe molding. That's that seam between the floor and the base.
And it's crazy because here in Atlanta, I go into $10 million homes that have shoe molding on.
Yeah, that's right.
In Oklahoma, a $300,000 home buyer is like, that's cheap. You put that in exact words someone told me, you put shoe molding on in a trailer house. We're not going to accept that here. And I'm like, that's interesting. I saw it in a $10 million house 2 weeks ago, but okay, right?
Yeah.
And so now we're having these conversations in our office of, do we put it in early, then cover it? Right? Do we put it in early and cover it? But it never fails when you cover wood and the trim carpenter's in there, a nail sneaks under there, or a screw sneaks under there.
And then they're
They're walking on it and they're scratching it. And man, our practice as of today is we put it in at the end, but we've had to come back and tear base out and put in new base because the customers will not accept shoe base. And so now we're really contemplating, okay, maybe we put it in early and cover it with ram board and painter's paper and hope for the best.
Yeah, and that's, you know, our answer to that is always, especially in Atlanta where the humidity and the temperature sways so much, you have to climate control the house. You have to climatize. You got to let the wood acclimate in there. So with a pre-finished floor, if we're coming in early, I tell on a 4,500 square foot home, new home, or a whole home renovation, I'm saying, listen, first thing I got to do is get this climatized. So we may have to bring in a temporary HVAC system and pipe it into the house. It runs, you know, they may have these box units you can rent, but we're going to spend $1,500 a month, if not more, plus the install and the wiring of it to get this system up and going, because we have to acclimate your home, or a lot of the stuff we put in is going to have to get torn out, or it may not get torn out, but I can guarantee you once you move in, it's going to continue to acclimate and things are going to separate, i.e. your baseboards in your floors trying to get it tight without a shoe molding. And so you've got that cost that I say we have to incur it. And part B to that is if we do put in a pre-finished floor, and we'll protect a site finish floor too, because that has to go in before cabinets and trim and stuff like that. But we'll also tell them, listen, we need to budget on a 4,500 square foot house. We got to budget $7,000 in floor coverings. That's your ram board. That's your brown builder's paper, tape, and then hardboard, which is the 4x8 sheets of 8-inch hardboard that go in the high traffic areas because we have to protect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I say you better start budgeting for close to $10,000 to get this in early if you want a scribed baseboard.
Yes.
So, I mean, this stuff comes with a cost.
It comes with a cost, and that's right. Yes.
I think we're getting a little technical. I've gone down this wild road, haven't I?
No, I don't think so. I think that's
I hope they find it.
I think there's a lot of buyers that'll find that interesting, because I've had buyers that assumed we were going to put it in early, and then I need to probably do a better job of explaining. Happy to put it. Hey, by the way, we can put it in early. It's $10,000.
Yeah.
More.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to have your house climate controlled. We have to then cover it.
Seriously cover it.
Yeah.
And police it.
Yeah. Or there's a very good chance you're going to end up with shoe base.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is not, I don't know why in Oklahoma, those are only in trailer houses. I'm like, that is the darndest thing to hear, because I'm like, dude, I have seen shoe base in some multi-million-dollar
In fact, I have architects that actually prefer it, because it's not necessarily your quarter round where it's a quarter rounded, and it's not a shoe mold, which is more, straight up a curved top and smaller. I have architects that are like, no, I need a double base.
Yes.
Or a 1x10, and then in front of it a 1x4.
Yes.
And the 1x4 is our shoe mold.
Yes.
Or even it's smaller, but it's a different shape.
That's
and
right.
It's more of an interest piece.
Yes.
As opposed to, and so, yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think they know what they're talking about.
I appreciate you saying.
Yeah, no problem, man. I just want to let you know I care.
You understand?
I understand I feel your frustration, your pain. And so moisture barriers. Do you put moisture barriers in critical, like slab on grade type areas? Between, like I'll give you an example of this. When we're renovating a house and they want to finish out a basement, I can't dig up their slab and put a stego system or under slab. And we know that's where all the moisture comes from. And I can almost guarantee it's either not there or it's been degraded over the years and it's useless. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll actually put a moisture barrier, we'll lag down some strips, pressure treated strips, go with a moisture barrier over that, and then, a hardwood floor or
I have only seen the moisture barrier because as we talked about in previous episodes, we're putting our moisture barrier in our slab.
And then in the glue.
Okay.
Right.
Then on our glue down, the glue is the moisture barrier. Okay.
So that's going away. Worrying about a vapor barrier.
But not always we use a vapor barrier. We use a vapor barrier on nail down, because we put this black tar, then with a visqueen plastic down, then the plywood, then we nail the planks to the plywood. So when we're using a real nail down hardwood, yes, we still do a vapor barrier.
Gotcha.
But when we're doing our glue down, the glue is the vapor barrier.
Gotcha.
Plus we're putting it in our slab.
Yeah. And always use proper underlayments. Making sure if it's tile, you're going to use, and make sure it's installed right. Like, I love the Schluter systems, but it's another thing because a lot of times they're not installed properly.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got a lot of subcontractors that say they know how to do it, but they don't follow it because, there's steps that have to be followed.
A lot of steps.
And, and you want that protection. Now, what destroys floors? What should our listeners be aware of when they install a hardwood floor? They need to be thinking about not only, how they live, and what's comfortable for them, but what are they going to have in this home? Meaning, like, how old are their kids, right?
Yeah, pets, kids, and traffic.
Pets, kids, and traffic. I like that.
That's what's
top 3 things that destroy a floor: pets, kids, and traffic. Get rid of all of them.
Yeah, pets, kids, and traffic, and you're going to get wear in your high traffic areas.
Yeah. So be cognizant of that, because the odds are, listen, I have a lot of customers that'll say they kind of rationale in their head. I want to go with real hardwood floors because I want the ability to refinish them down the road. Well, dirty little secret. Some of these laminates, like you talked about before, can be refinished, but the big dirty little secret is the odds of a homeowner refinishing their floors are slim to none because it is so invasive.
Yeah, it is.
To refinish. You're talking about having to move all of your furniture.
You're moving everything.
And you move out basically for a week to refinish a floor.
Which so you may do if you're doing a remodel. I mean, here's the
only
deal.
if you're doing a remodel. But if you're just living in the home and it's like, yeah, I'll refinish it sometime, you're not.
No, you're not. But when you are going to refinish it, you're going to refinish it if you're doing your remodel, which, by the way, dirty little secret.
Oh,
if you live there for 10 years or more, you're remodeling your house.
Yeah,
I try to explain that to my customers who get selection paralysis. Oh, we just don't want to make the wrong selection. You might. How long do you plan to live here? This is going to be our forever home. Great. You're going to remodel it. You will.
Yeah.
You will, because the trends are going to change. Everything's going to change. And in 12 years, that tile that you picked or that floor color that you picked or those lighting fixtures, those plumbing fixtures, you're redoing them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say...
Vincent Longo will do it for you.
Amen. Yeah. Call me, DM me for a quick, fast quote. No, let's go ahead and finish this, right? Because I feel like we've talked enough about hardwood floors. I think one of the big takeaways is what you said. You're the star of the show today, by the way. I'm giving you the star of the show.
I'm not.
Is what you said about plan early again. And what I tell customers, if you're going to go with if you want a custom color that you just can't get, or there's a certain finish you're trying to achieve that you can't get in a pre-finish, and you need a true hardwood floor, go ahead and early on, like before you even start picking out all your other stuff, have the hardwood floor guy make you a sample that you approve and start with that floor color as a baseline. I think a big mistake that a lot of people make with a site finish hardwood floor means you pick your color and it gets done at the end of the project.
It does.
And what I've seen time and time again is you get out there and it's impossible to find that right color now that has gone with everything else you've picked. And we'll wind up with 6 or 8 different samples in this room because it's dark and it doesn't face west. In this room because we need to see it in the afternoon when the sun's coming in. And so before you know it, you've got samples all over the home, and then all it does is cause confusion and chaos. Yep. So pick the floor up front as one of your big selections. And have it stained, and then have it mobile so you can take it around to you with your interior designer, whatever, when you're making tile selections, paint color selections, and everything.
So select early.
The early bird gets the worm.
I'm finding a theme in our whole series.
Yeah, maybe it's the series could have been
the house
5
that
seconds.
Ruth built. The house that Ruth built is really. Pick your selections early.
Pick your selections early and take them with you.
And then my pro tip, get off Instagram and Pinterest. You're going to find new things. You already made your selections. It's okay. We're moving on.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you all for listening today. And if you found anything of interest in here, please feel free to DM us if you have questions. Or if you found some things of interest so we can expand on it, as well as if you like the show, please give us a review. We like 5 stars. If you're not following us on Apple, Spotify, you name it, or
YouTube.
More importantly, YouTube. If you'd go out there and give us a follow, we'd really appreciate that. And stay tuned for our next episode of The House That Wisdom Built. And I'm Vince.
I'm Nathan.
Checking out. What? See you next time. Checking out. That's not good. They might think we're not coming back.
Maybe I'm not.
Maybe I'm not.